mentioned during the conversation that having the right experienced salespeople is key to success of your business. How did you select those salespeople? Did you have a criteria or framework that you used to hire them?
Well, I actually didn't select the people individually. I selected executives. The salespeople were selected by Marita O'Day, who's in the book. And Marita and I would have lunch maybe at least once every week, maybe once every other week. Across from Bergdorf's is Cipriani, and I have lunch there. I could be back and forth an hour. It'd save a table for me. Or a Japanese restaurant down the street. I'd always have Marita with me for that, and I'd have a PR lady and so on, and have lunch with them. I never had lunch with a friend. It just didn't dawn on me. And we would talk about who we are, what we are, how we are, what we're going to do. And it was indoctrinated in the personnel department what it was I expected. And if I went through the store and saw someone who didn't dress properly, look properly, or handle it properly, Marita, what are you doing? Take care of it immediately. And the same thing with my PR lady, Susie Butterfield. Would have lunch with her every once or twice a week. What are we doing, and what is our competition doing, and studying very carefully. So I think leadership is indoctrinating the people that you work with to understand what you want. If they understand what you want, they belong with you. So that was the executives that I would work with. And she knew what it was that I wanted in salespeople. And we had salespeople who made a lot of money because we took them off the regular basic salary and put them on a commission with a drawer. And we had about 300 salespeople. We lost about 100, didn't need them. And these 200 there made all kinds of money and they were very happy. We had to hire another level of management to make sure the salespeople weren't fighting with each other who gets the customer. On a commission basis, that could happen. Again, mainly to keep calm, cool.
So what I hear from your conversation on the top level, one thing you mentioned, a leader must have the ability to communicate organizational vision, organizational purpose, who we are, what do we value, what direction we want to go in, what type of culture that we want to promote within the organization. And based on that leadership skills that you want to hire people who matches with your organizational culture and values.
Yes, a good example of that is the men's store opened in 1991, August, September. Unfortunately, the recession started in July. However, an awful lot of young men who worked in Wall Street were looking for jobs. So in staffing the men's store, we staffed the store very heavily with young men from Wall Street because they would understand the customer, not like that silly focus group thing, what are we going to do? It made sense. You have a man who understands quality and appreciates it, and a customer who understands, and you put the two together. Sometimes you walk into an expensive store and the salesman, they don't understand, it doesn't match. It's scary. So, but if you can match the salesperson to the customer, that is critical. Key to a question someone asked me, well, how do you know which executive to hire? And I found it very easy. If the executive thinking of his ambition or her ambition is the same as mine and had the fundamental background to accomplish it, fine. One executive I examined, big guy from Bloomingdale's, when I had to have an assistant GMM to take my place and moved up as president at G. Fox. This fellow in the interview, and he's a very smart guy, he kept, when he talked about when he retired, we had a conversation, he's looking forward to, the guy must have been in his 40s. The other fellow from Bloomingdale's, his name was Bob Sutslow. And Bob's thinking was like my thing, but two of us were like that. We could finish each other's sentence. And I knew his thinking was very much like mine. He became the head of, got my job at G. Fox. He became head of Famous Bar, became head of Saks Fifth Avenue, became a British American Tobacco, and he bought Kohl's when it was a small family store in Wisconsin. Why did I think he'd be successful? Because he had the same ambition, knowledge, inspiration. You can just tell when you talk to a guy. When someone goes off the tangent, they'll work for the competition.